Hello, it's ChewDog Charts, and today I want to talk to you about Disney. To be specific, Disney Magic. I think that there may be a technical breakout on the Disney chart. So, in summary, Disney has been trading at a steep discount to the market of about 20%. Recently, Disney's shift toward direct-to-consumer distribution could provide huge potential and revenue upside. Further, the company's fiscal 2018 and 2019 schedule of releases is strong. The parks and resorts will also have positive impact on future growth. So let's take a look. To begin with, I want to show you the disparity between Disney and the overall market as measured by the S&P. Here is the S&P, and here is Disney with the close at around $101 a share as of November 6, 2017. So let's go talk about the specifics. This chart here shows Disney in comparison to other companies in its category. The first column has the PE ratio with Disney showing 17.36, which is reasonable in comparison to the others, particularly with regard to Netflix and CBS. The second column, which is the enterprise value divided by earnings before interest and taxes, shows the factor for Disney at 11.97, which is on the low side, which is again favorable in comparison to the other companies. Now the 3-year earnings per growth at 19.7 is favorably high, as is the 3-year dividend growth at 23.7. Some of the strengths of Disney's brand includes that it's ranked 14th most valuable by Interbrand. Additionally, Disney has a very large library of intellectual property, including Disney Animation, Pixar, Star Wars, and Marvel. And lastly, Disney's appeal to children and families is favorable, with the majority of Disney's content G or PG rated. More recently, Disney has had problems with ESPN. However, with much of the downside having been played out, it's time to look at the future here. With regard to that, Disney announced its direct-to-consumer streaming service for ESPN in 2018. Disney streaming service is going to come in 2019. And as you may remember, that Disney ended its distribution agreement with Netflix beginning with the 2019 calendar year season. Further, they've got a very strong release schedule of movies. In 2018, Disney's going to come out with Black Panther, Wreck-It Ralph 2, Avengers, The Infinity War, Han Solo Star Wars film, Incredibles 2, and Mulan. In 2019, Disney will continue with Avengers 4, Aladdin, Toy Story 4, The Lion King, and Frozen 2. So a very strong lineup. Here we have the 20-year monthly chart on Disney, showing the current close at $100.64. That actually might have changed from the point in time that I started this video. For disclosure purposes, I do not have a position in Walt Disney, either long or short. Again, this is the 20-year monthly chart, and we see that perhaps the problems with ESPN have made their way, as we did peak over $120 per share back in, say, mid-2015, and we've come down and we've bounced off the 50 EMA and actually may have a slight incline here with slightly higher lows. Moving down into the MACD, we can see that the peak here in mid-2015 with the first bottom in late 2016. Perhaps a dead cat bounce or perhaps just a slight reflection. Came back up and then now headed back down, and what we're looking for is a turnaround in this recent decline. Possibility of that coming here by what's shown in the histogram with the maximum negativity at this point in time, and at current levels we're here showing a definite improvement. So we're going to have to see where this bottoms out on the histogram as well as on the MACD. Moving through, the relative strength index is showing a very favorable 44.9 under the midline or 50, but we do show a consistent level here, and so maybe that's going to bounce off and head back up. Looking at the stochastic, that's exactly what it's showing me here. Looks like we do have a slight turn in the fast line. We'll see if that can turn at this point above the previous low. If so, it may be on its way. Let's continue on down to the Williams, and the Williams shows us it has bottomed here at the oversold level of -80. So let's go take a look at the weekly chart. We're now looking at the 2-year weekly chart on Disney, and we see that by the price chart, it's bottomed in this level with maybe some slight improvement. Looking at the MACD, this is telling me that the fast line wants to make a move up. It attempted a move at this point here, but was reflected downward, and now it's going to try a move through the trigger line again here. So that's really interesting to watch, and it looks favorable, at least by the histogram. Moving through into the relative strength index, we're trying to cross through the 50, which would be a very good move for the price if it could do that. In the stochastics, we also see that we had some bottoming here for the last couple of months, some sawtoothing. At the current level, it's trying to elevate off of that and move through the oversold territory and into the middle territory here. Oversold being 20 and overbought being 80. So it looks like it's had a slight move up, and it looks like it wants to jump off of that line and head up. Moving through into the Williams is telling us already that it's moved up and it is heading higher. So I would expect that the stock price would follow the oscillators there as we've described. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the daily chart. We have the 6-month daily chart on Disney, and as we can see today, the stock jumped up and pierced through both the 20 EMA and the 50 EMA. So that's an important level here because it's already gone near or above its recent high. So the next level we're going to be looking at is probably around 103 or just above 103. Moving down into the MACD, it's definitely jumping off of the trigger line, heading to the midline 0 line. Once it hits this 0 line, then there's a possibility that the stock can take even a higher increase. And what I mean by that is if you take a look at this point here, when it crossed the 0 line, move back up to the price chart, then that's when it had this move upward here. Now, this didn't continue any further than here, but I think that's because it was on a decline. So being that the monthly and the weekly charts have changed, this may prove the ability for the stock to head up and start testing some of these upper level resistance levels. Moving down into the relative strength jumped off the 50, heading up, very strong. The stochastics also show heading up with strength. Moving down into the volume, you can see that today was a fairly decent green day on the volume, much higher than the preceding month, with the exception of this very significant downtrend volume. Moving into the Williams also shows a very strong move with the tendency to head up into elevated levels. Right now it's into the overbought territory, but that really is not of much concern to me at this point. So let's reset the chart here. Let's go back to the monthly. Going to do a 20-year monthly chart on that for the reset. And it's reset. So I'm looking for definitely a bottoming at this point here with a move on up. I think there's a good possibility we could hit this level here and maybe even 120. But before I make any sort of price projections for you, I want to make sure that everybody does their fundamental analysis and that information is readily attainable. Looking through here on the realtimestockquote.com website, you can click into the dividends here. You can click into other key statistics at this point here, filings and other information, all here very readily available. So for now, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.